Okay, hello again. Welcome back, Doctor Who Infinity. I have no idea what just happened. The entire stream just kind of froze up on me. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Hello, Jessa. Welcome. Yeah, it was pretty short. Much shorter than it should have been, sadly. I do apologize for that. I honestly don't know what happened. I don't know why it froze up on me like that, but hopefully that won't happen again. And we can just, walk and stream without me having to worry about that. It may have been that the phone was still connected to Wi-Fi for some reason. Missed the second day. Oh, well, if you want to check that out, you can actually go to the YouTube channel. I actually have uploaded the Periscope streams on there. And I do apologize if it's a little bit hard to hear me. Apparently the wind has decided to be a jerk again. But, yeah, it's... Oh, thumbs up, good. Yeah, like I said, in case you didn't see it, that's where you can go check it out. And I know I mentioned in the main vlog from yesterday that I was, asking people, oh, you'll watch it later, good. I realized, and one thing I did realize is that even though my phone captures the video for this, it doesn't actually capture the comments or anything that pops up, so it's probably a little bit weird for people watching it there when I can't, or when they can't see the things that are being said. But yeah, and one thing before I get into the one topic that was brought up by one of my followers, which is political in stature, I just wanted to say that, first of all, if you watched the Periscope from yesterday, you may remember that I didn't fall, but banged my knee a little bit, and as I suspected, got a bit of a bruise, but nothing too major. It's just a bit of a bruise on the inside of my knee. Will go away soon enough. But if you saw the full vlog from yesterday, whoa, my balance is a bit off today. But again, if you saw the full vlog from yesterday that I uploaded late last night, I got the punching bag set up at our house, and I did a little bit of, just a little bit of hitting on it, and it was fun. But I don't know if I just didn't stretch enough or what. I need to make sure that I cover up this microphone down here to keep the wind from getting in. But my body is in, my upper body today is in pain right now. It's a lot better at the moment because I did take some ibuprofen to help that a bit, but my entire neck is stiff, my upper arms are killing me. And the thing is, I didn't really use it all that much. It was just kind of, it's annoying, to say the least. Same in the legs. Oh, were you doing some exercise yesterday, DW Infinity? But yeah, that's basically, how my day's been going so far, other than just the typical working out. Running. Yes, running is one thing that I'm actually trying to work back up to. Several years ago, when I was in much better shape than I am now. And sorry I keep switching hands, but from where my arms are stiff, I kind of have to. But when I was in much better shape than I currently am, I actually ran a few 5Ks. It was like 2 or 3 of them, I think, all in the span of the same year, but I did pretty good at them. I got pretty good at going long distances, even if I wasn't particularly fast. I've never been a fast runner. If I try to run fast, I run out of juice in 30 seconds if I'm lucky. But who knows, maybe that'll change over time, especially as I, again, get in better shape. But yeah, the running is something I'm working back up to, and hopefully will happen in the near future. Maybe even have some vlogs about me doing a 5K, who knows. But to get on to the topic that I was wanting to discussed, or that was brought up rather, by one of the commenters on Twitter. It had to do with my political leanings. And I made a video that kind of commented on this. I guess it was maybe a week ago or something like that. And I don't want to go into too much information because, you know, I don't want to start up any debates or anything, but as far as like political beliefs go, I definitely, like by American standards, lean more toward the left. Consider myself a liberal, or I guess a preferred way to put it. I have a bump of hair right there, and it's really annoying. Progressive is the way I like to put it. So, I mean, politically right now, I kind of go, I go for more the like Bernie Sanders kind of deal. Not very pleased with the way things are going right now, but you know, unfortunately, a lot of the world is not in perfect shape, and you just got to make the best of what you can. I definitely hope and pray that Trump doesn't become the president, and people can heat on me for saying that if you want to, but he just, the man scares me. He seriously just terrifies me, to be completely honest. But, yeah, that's all I'll really say about that. Although I guess this other thing that came up, actually while I was eating my lunch, I guess it could be considered political in nature, and it actually has to do with American currency. We've had pretty much the same people on the dollar bills for decades. I guess you could, well, I mean, we're already past the bicentennial, like back in the 70s or 80s, so, I mean, centuries at this point. But on the $20 bill, I believe I want to say it's Andrew Jackson, I think is currently on the $20 bill, has been, again, easily for decades. But he is going to be replaced by, I believe it's Harriet Tubman. Not only, you know, the first woman on American currency. Well, actually, that's a little bit inaccurate. As far as dollar bills go, we did have the $1 coins for a while, but I think those had Sacagawea on them. They didn't really last. Like, I think I still see one or two pop up every few years, but they're definitely not very, they're not a popular currency, shall we say. But, yeah, with having Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, not only do we have the first woman on the dollar bills, but we also have the first woman of color, or I guess even person of color, really, on the $20 bill. So that's, in my opinion, like, that's a huge step. And I know I've already seen some people have issues with this. It's like, you know, breaking tradition, how could you? And I don't know. Maybe it's just more of where I have, again, like the progressive mindset. I think tradition can be good. I think tradition can be important. But I also think that holding on to it too strongly can hold you in the past. It keeps you from moving forward as a person, as a society, and so many other things. So, I mean, it's one step of many that I think this country needs to take, but it's a good one, in my opinion. Tradition is good. Well, like I said, tradition can be a good thing, without a doubt, but there are a lot of traditions that, you know, we've gotten rid of over time, or have tried to get rid of over time for various reasons. Like, I'm trying to think of something that isn't super extreme, but sometimes it's keeping you down. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, switching hands again. Hopefully without making too much noise. Hello, Tab Rogers. And actually, now that I think about it, I think I just answered your question, Mr. Rogers. before you even came in. So I'll give a quick summary version. He mentioned like political leanings or political beliefs. Summarized version, I consider myself a liberal. I consider myself a progressive as far as politics go. And as far as the current U.S. election climate goes, I lean more toward like Sanders and kind of Hillary Clinton. I still have questions about her, but yeah, that's more my political leaning overall. Although one thing I can definitely say about that I don't know, I don't think it particularly makes me unique, but it made me feel different for a long time. Growing up, well, I grew up in the state of Kentucky. I lived there for the first 21 years? Yeah, I guess basically 21 years of my life in Kentucky. And while, again, like any state in the U.S. or any country, or no matter how big or small, politics can vary. But I see we have a new person in, but I didn't see the name pop up. I apologize about that. But growing up where I did, it was a very, very conservative area, very religious. It's on the area that people like to call the Bible Belt. Welcome back, Dr. Who Infinity. Once again. And I mean, I'm not saying, you know, whether that's that necessarily a positive or a negative. Wind disconnected. No big deal. No problem at all. Like I said, just like I did the other Periscopes, this will be going on to YouTube later. If you would want to watch the whole thing, see if you missed anything. And we have a ghost person. Yeah, it seems so. Because I didn't know if I just didn't see the name pop up, or maybe it didn't pop up at all. But getting back on topic, the living there always felt very awkward to me. Like I still consider myself a religious person. I still consider myself a Christian. If me saying that bothers anyone, I do apologize, but that's my personal beliefs. But there were a lot of things that people would say and do that, looking back, were very, what would be considered conservative, what would be considered closed-minded in a lot of ways. And it never really sat right with me. But because I lived there, I just kind of always had this feeling of, well, I need to fit in. I need to adapt to this in some way. So even if I didn't particularly feel right about something, I wouldn't say anything about it. I would just be like, oh, well, that's just the way things are. Because, you know, growing up in a bubble like that can affect you in that way. But what happened to the audio? Can you hear me? Sorry about that, Mr. Rogers. I have to keep switching hands occasionally because my hands get tired. And I completely respect that, DW Infinity, I really do. When it comes to religion and stuff, it's like I have my beliefs, but I'm not going to try and push them on anyone else. If anyone wants to have a discussion on things, you know, I'm definitely open for that, but I'm in no way going to try and enforce my beliefs on someone unless they actually show interest. And excuse me, post-lunch have the coughs. Brain rebooting. Yeah, but in the end, I don't want to force my own beliefs on anyone. Oh, that's your opinion too. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, but overall, it wasn't until well, first of all, moved away from home. When I first moved away from home, I was in college, and yeah, I was still in Kentucky at the time, internet discussions about religion are just horrible. Oh yeah, yeah. Anytime religion is brought up, it turns very ugly very quickly, sadly. I have been a part of some, intelligent discussions, but on the internet it can be really easy to slip into that black hole of no return, essentially, when you're on that topic. But like I was saying, even though I still lived in Kentucky, going to college is I found myself in a more open environment. Join the dark side. But yeah, I was able to meet more people, learn a more diverse number of people than I had been able to in my little hometown. So that was like the starting of it. It's like I was still kind of like, in that conservative bubble for years and years. But it wasn't until I actually moved away from Kentucky that I actually started to discover more about myself and who I really am, like what my real beliefs are. And then after I met my wife Jill, I actually found myself being able to be comfortable with who I am, being able to be comfortable and realize who I really am, what my beliefs are, how I feel about things, and not be ashamed of it. Because even though I would move to, more liberal areas, like I lived in, basically in the area of Washington, D.C. for a year. And, I mean, it was definitely one of the more liberal areas I lived, but it's, you still, the people that I would sometimes be in contact with would kind of shame alternate ideas. It was really weird and hard to explain. But yeah, in the end, it wasn't until I met my wife Jill, or the woman that became my wife Jill, that I was able to find myself able to express myself openly and find out who I am. And really, I'm still finding out who that is. I'm still learning as a person. I'm still discovering my full beliefs and evolving them as time goes on. And I think that's one of the things that really affects people on the political or really any sort of belief spectrum, that they think they find their place, they think they find the spot where they're comfortable, and then they don't allow for any discussion. Like anything that opposes their views is viewed as the opposition. It's viewed as being wrong or evil, even if they're presented with evidence that maybe what they believe now is wrong, or could be wrong, or just isn't entirely right. So that's one thing that, I don't know, I feel like allows me to be a bit different than some people. Not all people, just maybe like some people that I've known through the years, is that I'm able to allow myself to be open to change. But getting off of that topic, since it's been going on for a little while, sorry, switching hands again. Like I said, I said at the beginning, and not everyone was here, but my arms and my neck are just incredibly stiff and pained right now, so that's why I'm switching back and forth, and unfortunately part of my hand gets in front of the camera lens of points. And hopefully the wind isn't making it too hard to hear me. But one thing that was brought up by my friend Melina, who is she does reaction videos on YouTube, in case you don't know her, but she asked how my wife and I met. And I gave her the short version, and I said, I can tell you the long version later. But I figured, why not tell the long version here on Periscope? So the short version is of how Jill and I met. 2 words: on Craigslist. Now you hear that, and I'm sure a large array of ideas probably start swirling through your head. It's like Craigslist, really? But allow me to explain. And I'll try and do, wait, whenever you switch the hands, it's like interactive stereo switching between right and left. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Anyone listening with headphones, I really do apologize for the way the sound is. It gets to be a little bit hard to, like, it's hard to hold with just one hand for long periods of time today. But, getting back onto what I was saying, I'll do my best to give a summarized version of this, as opposed to just a hugely long version. But, so basically, I moved here to Minnesota in January of 2009. And when I moved here, I didn't know anyone in the area. After getting here, I met 2 or maybe 3 people that I would be working with, because I had just moved here from, Virginia, right across the river from Washington, D.C. And, like I said, I didn't know anyone. So I was online chatting with some friends at the hotel I was staying at, because my stuff from my old apartment still hadn't arrived. And, until it arrived, I couldn't move into my new apartment. But while I was on there, I was just looking around online, and I noticed this one area of Craigslist. It's marked, I think it's platonic relationships, or something along those lines. And just to warn you, I actually don't know if that category still exists on Craigslist, but if it does, it's a very interesting area, because platonic implies friends. You're wanting to meet friends, like no sexual, no relationship intended. You just want to be friends with people. You go in there, and most people's apparent belief of the definition is looking for sex without strings. So, yeah, I was just in the mood. I wanted to take a chance and see if I could meet anyone, especially people that knew of things possibly fun to do around the Twin Cities. So I made a post on there in the platonic area, and I made it clear, not looking for a relationship or anything, meeting things on Craigslist, what could go wrong? Well, I'll tell you about some of that here in just a little bit, but it does, something good did come of it, thankfully. But, and like I said, I was kind of desperate. I didn't know anyone here, and I'm a bit of an introvert, to say the least. But, so I made a post on there and basically saying, I just moved here, blah, blah, blah. It was like about a 3 or 4 paragraph essay of a post, I guess, and included a picture on there of me and my niece Allie, just to show, I'm not some random creeper. I'm actually a normal looking guy. Hoping that some people would not think immediately I was some creepy freak. But yeah, long story short from that, after that went up, I got some interesting replies. Some people that clearly, again, didn't know the definition of what platonic means, and didn't read the entire post, because I said myself I wasn't looking for anything like hookups or relationships or anything like that. But one person that did end up replying, I want to say it was about 2 or 3 days later, was Jill. And we just kind of chatted back and forth through email for a little while. Falling. Lost my balance. But, yeah, just chatted there for a while. And eventually got to, back when this was still a thing, Yahoo chat. Talked on there a bit. Yep, the shakes. I'm really sorry about that. My hands and my arms are so weak. I'm such a wuss. But, brain. Right. Eventually, we had been talking together for a couple of weeks, and at work, one of my coworkers would put out this this mailing list, or newsletter, that's what it is. So it would send out this newsletter every week. I'm not creepy is the number one thing creepy people say. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't think I actually said I'm not creepy in the post. It was just sort of a way to express that I wasn't creepy. I don't know. Because I've seen pictures of people on Craigslist that are very creepy. Wind. So sorry, everyone. Right, so on the newsletter, it mentioned that there was a comedian that was going to be coming into Minneapolis soon, and the prices for tickets were, pretty affordable at the time. So I figured, hey, I'll buy 2 tickets, and maybe one of my coworkers will, want to go with me. Got the tickets, and no one wanted to go, which was really lame. Some was because they were in relationships and they didn't want to go without their personal, or without their special other person. I can't think of words right now. I can't English. But in the end, I was just kind of like, well, I got this extra ticket, so I contacted Jill and I said, do you like stand-up? And if so, would you like to go to a stand-up show with me? And she accepted. And fast forward to the night of the show. Before I even met her, it was really interesting. First of all, we were going to be meeting at a coffee shop. And like we said, a specific time, and I ended up having to be late to that. Significant other. Yes, word. Sorry, brain, no word, can English. But I ended up being late for that because my pet hamster, yes, my pet hamster, escaped her cage and got underneath the couch. And I was chasing her all over the house trying to get to her until finally I had to lift up my couch just to grab her. And so that made me somewhere between half an hour to an hour late. I know it sounds like a ridiculous amount of time, but it's true. Thankfully, it wasn't going to make us late for the show. But when I told her that had happened, she thought it was hilarious, and believed me, because my little hamster Twilly was she was mine. She was my little pet. Brought her with me from Virginia. But when I finally did get to the coffee shop to meet her, it was just her. It wasn't like her and at least 1 or 2 and 3 of her friends to make sure I wasn't some psycho killer creep from Craigslist. But it was just her. It was a public place and there were people in there. But I cannot tell you how surprised I was that it was just her. And fast forward through that night, we talked a bit, we hit it off. Welcome back again, Doctor Who Infinity. But yeah, after that night, we talked, and it's okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about any lag or buffering. I do apologize for that. But, yeah, after that, we hit it off, talked a bit, started to hang out quite a bit. But in the end, we still weren't intending to get in a relationship. We both made it clear we weren't looking to date anyone. We were just being friends. And then it was about a month later, and it landed on Valentine's Day. Neither of us had anyone, and we decided to make it disconnected like a cord. I'm sorry. And so what we did for Valentine's Day was I made a dinner, because I really liked cooking at the time. I still do, just don't do it as often. But I made dinner, and she brought over a bunch of horror movies for us to watch. And that was a lot of fun. And that night I actually introduced her to, believe it or not, I apologize for loud construction noises in the background. I introduced her to her first zombie movie, which was, strangely enough, Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead was her first zombie movie. It wasn't Night of the Living Dead or any of the other classics, but Shaun of the Dead. And she loved it, thankfully. But yeah, so that's how we spent Valentine's. And again, although neither of us had any intention on getting in a relationship, it was that night that I started to think, I kind of like her. But I don't want to go too far. Like, I don't want to screw anything up. I don't want to mess things up with us. So, yeah. That's, fast forward from there, like probably a month after that, we both started to develop feelings for each other, and we liked each other. And then, just about a year later, we got married. Yeah, we got, let's see, from the time we met until the time we got married, it was a year and... So we met in January, got married in June, so a year and 5 months. So yes, from the time we met to the time we got married was a year and 5 months. So there you go. Very much abbreviated version. I know I probably rambled a bit, well, more than a bit there. But that's the story. And Lena, if you're in here, I hope you enjoyed hearing the story of how Jill and I met. It's adorable, dorky, and more than a little bit nerdy. So yeah, I don't know, I wish this thing had a timer. I don't know how long the stream's been going, but I think I am going to have to end it here. I hope you all have enjoyed the vlog for today. Welcome back again, Doctor Who Infinity. But yeah, again, I hope you all enjoyed this stream, and if you missed anything, again, I'll be uploading it to YouTube here in a little bit. If you missed anything or if anything's not happening, my phone says it only has 15% power left. That's not cool. No! Okay, it's still there. Something went over the screen. I thought it stopped. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you later. Until next time, everyone, Papa Ken, and later days.